Hey everyone, and welcome back to Dead Mall Walking, and what I guess you could consider to be the third in my Leeds trilogy. This is a place that I filmed when trying to answer the question, why does Leeds have so many dead malls? I decided not to include it in that video because it isn't really dead, and it isn't really a mall. Is it? The Light was opened in 2001, although it looked very different back then, and incorporates 2 listed buildings. In essence, this means that it's extremely difficult to make any significant changes to the exterior of those buildings. Coincidentally, one of them is called Permanent House. Redeveloped in the 90s, local architects DLG enclosed the space around those listed buildings and turned the whole thing into retail and leisure space, essentially creating 2 indoor streets. However, as you can see from their website, the centre currently contains 0 stores. I wanted to create a short video about the Light because, in some ways, I see how it might represent the future of what we currently think of as retail space. It houses a cinema, hotel, gym, restaurants, bars, and a miniature golf course. You could argue that it's just a glorified food court, but it's worth noting that there aren't really many empty units in the way that there are in dead malls. Whenever I visit a mall, in the US or in the UK, one of the first things I do is look at the restaurants in and around the mall. It's true that I'm often there to film rather than shop, but you can guarantee that I'll still need lunch or dinner. Once upon a time, people visited malls because of the convenience of having so many things under one roof. But we have the internet for that now. In recent years, malls have become less about shopping and more about the experience they can offer visitors. That often translates to food and a place to hang out, 2 things we can't really do online. At least not yet anyway. I previously made the argument that perimeter restaurants like, say, Cheesecake Factory don't always bring foot traffic into nearby malls. But what happens when they don't need to? What happens when drinking and dining is the experience? Potentially, you end up with a place like this. The Light has already had a couple of facelifts since it opened. This is what it looked like back in 2009. But its appearance has remained fairly consistent overall. And it really does feel like a mall. Right down to the Coke vending machines. The difference is that the presence of things like a health club, doctor's surgery, and escape room feel like considered additions here, rather than the desperate attempts to fill space that they often feel like in dead malls. And, true to its name, this place really does look great lit up at night. Of course, there's no use pretending that this place isn't unique. If it hadn't been sandwiched between 2 listed buildings by necessity, we might well have ended up with a purpose-built centre like the Core, which I visited in my last video about Leeds, and it might be nowhere near as successful. This place has won several architectural awards after all. But the Light is hybrid space. It's not quite inside, not quite outside. It's not quite a mall, but it's not quite anything else either. At least not anything we have a name for. And maybe that's the future of what we currently call retail space. Thanks for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing, or maybe supporting the channel on Patreon, where I'll be posting bonus content from my upcoming US trip. You'll find the link, along with my Instagram, in the description below. Next time I post here, I'll be back with tours of some American dead malls, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Until next time, goodbye from the Light.